What is up, guys? Joe here from Odyssey Off-Road. Quick intro video for you here. As you see, new machine in the garage. Some of you who've been following my channel probably be pretty shocked, as I just got the Kawasaki KRX 1000 about 6 months ago. And then I have the Can-Am Maverick Sport Max. Both of those machines are gone. I sold them both last Saturday. Brief background on that story is I have a ATV I purchased that's on order. It's a Yamaha Raptor 700R, so that'll be on the channel soon as well. With that, plus my kids' other ATVs and 2 side-by-sides, running out of room in the garage here. My truck is not going to go outside, so I had to kind of condense a little bit. And if I do need a 4-seater with the kids and the wife. We go out on some trail rides regularly with all of us. So I was definitely not going to just keep the Maverick Sport as my all-around machine for multi-purpose. I do some dune trips. Did want something a little more sportier. So the KRX was an awesome machine. If I was going to keep just one of them, I would have sold the Can-Am, just kept the KRX. I loved the Can-Am. It was a great trail machine, but not good for certain things. And I need something that's a little more well-rounded, better suspension, good at the dunes when I do go. So here it is. I sold both machines, got a great sale price on both of them. The used market right now is crazy. If any of you are thinking about selling, now's the time to do it. So enough of that, onto this one. This is the 2021 model Pro XP 4-seat premium edition. So with the premium, they have the Sport, which is the base model, then the premium, then the ultimate. The only difference from this to the ultimate is you get the Dynamics live valve suspension. This has every other feature. I'll go over those here with you quick. My reason for choosing this particular machine was simple. I wanted better suspension, comfort, horsepower for when I go to the dunes. And in a 4-seat package, there's not many options. The Maverick Sport Max I had was great, but like I said earlier, wasn't good for everything that I do with it. So that was the reason why I had the KRX as well. But with condensing, I needed to kind of get all my needs met with one machine. So this is it. My buddy bought a 2-seater. I've been eyeing that for the past few weeks. Sat in it a few times. He loves it. I've heard nothing but great reviews on the Pro XP. This is kind of the future for Polaris. They're moving to this platform. So I'll give you the quick rundown of what changes were made for the 2021 model over the 2020, as there have been some upgrades from Polaris. The introduction for this machine was in 2020. 2021, they did upgrade a few things to address some first-year issues. So I'll go over all that with you here, and I'll just give you the quick rundown of the machine, what I've added to it since I brought it home, the options the premium package comes with. So as you can see right up front, the premium gives you the extra LED accent light in the middle over the grill. Okay, you do get Walker Evans shocks. It's not the Dynamics live valve Fox shocks. That only comes on the Ultimate, and that is the only difference between this and the Ultimate, and that's about an extra $2,500. So if it's worth it for you, great. For me, wasn't a necessity. On the interior, you'll see you get the blue LED accent lighting as well. Really neat feature. I'd say the interiors of these things, it's almost like a car. My Chevy Silverado Trail Boss has a pretty nice interior, I feel. And that's a fully loaded one as well. And this thing almost rivals the interior of a new truck. It's insane. The bucket seats are great, super comfortable. The front comes with retractable harnesses, which I love. The reason why I never put harnesses in my other machines in the front seats is because I can't stand that feeling of being stuck in your seat as the driver if you want to look out over the door or lean forward into your glove box to get something without having to unstrap. These are great. The rears come with standard harnesses. They're not retractable in the rear. They're only retractable in the front. So that's something that I haven't seen reviewed, but I wanted to point that out because I didn't realize that till I brought the machine home. You'll see the blue accent lighting too in the rear that highlights the floor, which is pretty cool. Very neat. So this has the Rockford Fosgate stereo system in it. Has 6 speakers. You have 2 tweeters. You have speakers here on these grills here in the lower dash. You'll see it says Rockford on it. And then you get 2 speakers behind the rear seats. It is very, very loud once you get the volume cranking. That was one of the updates they actually did this year. 2020 had some volume issues. They addressed that with the recent update on the Ride Command head unit. That's alleviated now. And then, like I said, you can see the head unit there. It does have the Polaris Ride Command with the maps and the app and GPS. So that's great for the trails. That was another thing I wanted. Those 2 things, the Ride Command, the Rockford Fosgate, and then third, the harnesses, the LED accent light in the front, and then the rear tail lights are different as well on the premium. This little piece that sticks up here on the Sport model, which is their base model now, it does not include that. So you just get standard tail lamps like this. And I didn't realize that actually until my buddy was here with his yesterday. He has the 2020 base model, and he pointed out that, hey, your tail lights are a lot different than mine. So that's the rundown of the things that are added for the premium. And like I said, all these things are also included on the Ultimate. Only you get the dynamic shock switch. Then on the steering wheel, you'll get the buttons right here for the dynamic suspension controls. That's only on the premium. So I have not taken it on a ride yet, other than about a 5-mile cruise around my neighborhood, just to kind of break the belt in a little bit, kind of get the feel for the suspension. That was one thing that when I did bring it home yesterday, I basically bought it with no accessories on it. Everything you see on it now, I added yesterday. So we'll give you a rundown of that. When I brought it home, ride clearance on this thing, ground clearance, I should say, is 14 inches they spec. I got it home with 12 inches in the front and 13 and a half in the rear. So I addressed that yesterday as well. Adjusted the preload on the front shocks to give me about 14 and a half in the front, and I'm at 14 in the rear. I'm going to go on its maiden voyage today. I'm going to take it on a nice leisurely trail ride to get the engine good broke in with the family. I'm going to leave here in a little bit. So that's why I wanted to kind of do this before it got all dirty for the first time. I'll go over with you right now what I've added to it so far and what I'm planning on adding to it. So as you can see, probably right in the front, I got the Polaris half windshield. This is a far cry better from the old style XP1000 accessories. They've, along with this new model and fit and finish and quality being better, even the accessories are a far cry better than they were on the previous Polaris models. This here, under the hood now, you don't even need to take this off. There's nothing under here. So when you install this windshield, all the Polaris windshields for this Pro XP model, you just take these 2 screws out. This little hood bulge comes off. There's nothing under there. You need to ever open this again. There's no fluids to check. Everything's in the rear of the unit now. And then you slide the windshield down. It kind of creates so you don't get any vibrations or movement. You put this back down. It kind of sandwiches it there, and then it clamps on the 2 bars. So it's super rigid. As you can see, it's pretty thick. These are really thick material. It's hard coated, so shouldn't scratch too bad. What else? I added the door bags. These door bags, let me tell you, $50 on Amazon Prime. They bolted up perfectly. I'll put some links below on some of these things that I got off Amazon. These bags for $50, you get amazing amount of storage. There's some padding in this one for like where your shoulder would hit. If you don't feel like you need it, which I don't think I will, you can unzip this, take the padding out, and you have an extra storage pocket. You have storage pockets in the front, which are unzipped, and then the zipped portion, if you open it up, you can see how much storage is in there. And there's also an extra compartment in the back. I mean, it's there for $50. It's amazing. The material is super thick, super sturdy. The zipper seems to be really good quality. They don't go anywhere. They bolt on in 5 different places using the factory hardware. You just take it out for where it bolts the door skin on, and then they give you longer screws with washers, and that's it. Super quick install. This mirror also from Amazon. I believe it was like $49. Great quality. I don't know what brand it is. I'm gonna put a link below here on the video so you guys can check that out. But it's super good quality. It comes with the bracket right there that bolts to the factory location, and done. So those 3 things. And as you can see, I got the roof on. That is the Polaris aluminum roof. Now, Polaris offers 2 roofs. They have the one with a cutout in the front for the for a rigid 30-inch light bar. I didn't want that. I know I'm not putting a light bar up top, and I don't want that hole up there to look silly. So I got this one here. This is just a regular aluminum roof. And as you can see, it fits perfect. And in this, the look, overall look it gives it, I think the stock cages on these Pro XPs are great. Again, another thing that's a far cry better than the old style Polaris XP roll cages. Those things were just hideous looking. This thing looks great right off the showroom floor with that roof. That roof, again, also install 10 minutes, I would say. Super easy. They give you all the hardware. The foam, no longer like the old style roofs where you had to apply the foam yourself. The foam's already on there. It's all around, so there shouldn't be no vibration. And the foam's already applied to the panels. So you install these alligator clips in the front here. I don't know if you can see them, but right there, in all the spots on the crossbars. You put the rear roof on first, thread it, loosely, drop the front one on, tighten them all down, and it's done. It may be 10, 15 minutes tops took me to put that roof on. It took longer to unpackage it because it was packaged so well, and let's get it on. So those things I did. One other thing I did order was, and I have received it already, was the storage box. So the rear storage on these Pro XPs, another big selling point for me. The lock and ride boxes are just amazing. You drop them in. I took this thing out of the packaging. It was installed in about 60 seconds. So you just drop those in there, clamp them down. The whole thing pops back out. That's the 4 in the back. Unclamp it. This is 70 gallon storage. So it's quite big. What my plan is, they also make a front one. The front one's 42 gallon. So when I say front, I mean, closer to the rear of the machine. And that one's a little bit lower. And it just, if you guys have seen them in some other videos or photos, it just fits with the whole rear of the machine. It doesn't look like it's something you just stuck back there like a Husky box or something like that. I'm not into doing that. I like a factory look. I don't like something to look ridiculous on the back of the machine. You got a $30,000 machine, and you don't want to drive around with a cooler and 50 bungee cords holding something down. So I wasn't going to go for that route. So this box is $299. If you order from Rocky Mountain ATV, you get a sizable discount compared to ordering it from Polaris. So I think it was probably 15% cheaper than ordering through Polaris. And you won't see that until you go to your cart. So if you just look at the price and you add it to your cart, and then you go to your cart, you'll see it's a discounted price. The box for the rear, I have on order. They're on back order right now. or Polaris doesn't have them produced yet. They're saying they should be ready this January. So hopefully in the next couple weeks. I didn't get the standard box for the rear. What I did was they have a cooler option. So it's a 23 quart cooler for the back. That works the same way. It just drops in, lock and ride, clamps just like the back. The front kind of slips in under here, the handle. Drop it in, clamp it down, you're good to go. So I'll have a 23 quart cooler here, the 70 quart storage for the back, for tools, spare belt, toe strap, all that stuff. And yeah, that's a really nice setup in my opinion. Polaris has really outdone themselves with the accessory lineup for these machines. Another thing I ordered, which isn't in yet, I wasn't going to tell you guys, kind of leave for a surprise, but might as well let you know now. I got the Evo exhaust on order. If you're thinking about ordering one of those, do it right away, because it's like a 6 to 7 week lead time. They apparently produce these things as you order them. They don't just have a bunch of them sitting on the shelf. You can order it with whatever color heat shield you want. So I ordered the heat shield orange, so it'll match the the suspension components. Give it a little bit of accenting. So that this plastic panel comes off. Evo muffler will be here with the plastic removed and the orange heat shield. So that'll look great. Temporary plate on there right now. So the DMV sends me my real plate. This is registered for street legal use here in Arizona. And that's pretty much it as far as the things I've added so far and what I got on order. My opinion right now, it's a beautiful machine. From the 5 miles I drove it around the neighborhood, it drives beautifully, smooth, goes straight, no pull one way or the other. Front end alignment seems really good, which has been an issue in the past on some other machines I've bought off the showroom floor, namely the Can-Am. The front end alignment on that thing was a mess. So yeah, so that's the initial impression. And as far as changes Polaris has made from the 2020 to the 2021, they did change a few things. So 2020s had a few complaints. Still, apparently, they were having an issue with sagging springs, mostly the tender springs in the rear. So Polaris did upgrade the tender springs, so they say, for the 2021 model. And as you can see on this one, I even added preload, and it's not collapsed. It's still good, which is a far cry again from past Polaris razors, as the tender springs were coming collapsed from the factory off the showroom floor on those. So we'll see how these hold up. If they don't, we'll get a set of springs for it. But if they hold up, great. Less money you got to put into the machine to fix issues that shouldn't have in the first place. So they did upgrade the tender springs, and then they also upgraded the intake tube here. This is molded plastic now. For 2020, it was a rubber silicone intake tube, and at high boost levels, when you were really romping on and calling for that 181 horsepower, the tubes were collapsing. So a fix for that for the 2020s is people were sleeving them on the inside so they wouldn't collapse. Polaris addressed it, which I think is great. In the past, they've seemed to take forever to address issues, and on this machine, they're right on it. So one model year later, and it's got upgrades, upgraded, springs and intake tube. So that's great. So the other thing that supposedly they changed was a couple of things with the clutching. Supposedly they've tuned the clutch a little different for the 2021s. I don't know if that's something you'll feel or if it's just upgraded parts. It was kind of vague, but it was an article I read that they did change some clutching. And then what they did do, which I've noticed, Polaris doors in the past have been known to rattle quite a bit. So they've added like these bump stops here. If you can see it coming through in the video, but in between these two bolts, there's like a rubber contoured piece here. So when you close it, the door tight, it presses and rests upon that, so you don't get any rattling. It closes. It's pretty tight. It's not. They're not moving. No rattling. So we'll see if that holds up. So that's another thing they changed. So that's it. Initial opinion. great machine. Stay tuned for more content. We'll do another review on this machine. Once I hit about 500 miles, we'll give you my opinion then, if I still like it. And you guys have anything you'd like to see on the channel, upgrade suggestions, accessories, anything like that, leave a comment below. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.